Welcome to Vlogmas Day 13. Don't you just love the idea of personalized gifts? They are something that make a regular gift just extra special when it's got somebody's name on it, or some kind of a pet saying or some kind of an inside joke, that kind of thing. It is a fun thing to do as a craft, and you don't need to have a lot of supplies or skills or artistic ability. So today we are going to be doing a personalized camping themed gift mug, but it doesn't have to be just a mug. So I have a couple of things that are laid out here. I've got different kinds of things that we can actually do the project on. So we'll do a couple of different ones today so that you can see what it looks like to put the design or a design on anything. This is a super huge kind of mug. It's more like a soup bowl kind of cup, soup cup that you can carry. But I like these things because they're great for a nice big cup of coffee or hot chocolate, or even for soup. So this is one thing that we might do. The other thing is just a regular sized kind of coffee mug. But those two are not clear. Obviously, one is white and one is kind of more off-white. But if you feel like you really don't have artistic ability at all, then you can actually kind of cheat if you use some kind of a glass container. So you can do a glass coffee mug, or you can do a wine glass, or you can do something like a clear glass pitcher. That all works. So what we're going to start with is just the supplies that you need. We're going to basically use Sharpie markers, and we're going to draw a design on our whatever vessel we want. And then we are going to bake it in the oven to set the permanent marker. I've got a couple of cotton balls and cotton Q-tips swabs here, and a little bit of alcohol. And that helps us to basically, we need to clean the surface. I've already washed everything with soap and water. And then we're going to take a cotton ball with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and we're going to clean the surface where we're actually going to be making the design. Because if you have any kind of oils from your skin, you are the marker won't stick to it as well, and it's more likely to wash off. I also have a couple of extra things here that you really don't need, but if you want to use them because you want a little bit of help with the drawing or the design, then I've got some ideas here too. So this is actually, you've probably seen these earlier in the week. I've got these free printable gift tags, and if you haven't grabbed a copy yourself, go ahead and grab one. I'll leave a link in the description below. But this has all kinds of little designs, little icons for people who are RV campers, for people who like RV camping. And I've got a little tent design here too. And then other things just like a backpack, kayak, roasting marshmallows, that kind of thing. So you can use something like that. I've also got here a pack of stickers that are camping themed stickers. So you can see these right here. Let me just show you a little bit closer. The camping themed gift tags that we did earlier this week. We used those when we were wrapping. I also have a pack here of temporary tattoos, which are camping themed tattoos. And I had a little kids party favor gift box that we used earlier when we used some of the stamps out of those. Well, inside that box, there's a whole bunch of different things. And one of the things that I pulled out today are these little notepads that have a camping theme on them. So you can take anything that is like this, and you can use it as a template that you actually put behind the glass and you draw around. I actually think that these are cute. And if the design, you don't want the design to be too complicated, because if it is, then it's just really not going to turn out. So you want a really simple kind of line design if possible. And then this is my favorite, this little Wild Adventure one, because I love retro campers. Anyway, one more thing that I've got here is wrapping paper, and I showed you this earlier in the week in my Vlogmas series as well. And so we are going to use that when we decorate probably this big picture, because these images here are a little bit bigger. So the last thing that I'm going to show you is the thing that we kind of started the whole thing off with earlier this week, which is the painted rock that I did years ago. And it's kind of like a little design inspiration that you can have set off to the side. So here's what I'm going to say. Think about what you want to do as far as the design is concerned. First of all, think about the person that you're giving it to. Are they coffee drinkers, hot chocolate drinkers, wine drinkers? You know, what kind of vessel works best for the person that you're giving it to? And then think about the kind of message that you want to put on there. So I would recommend that you take just a little bit of paper, just plain paper, and sketch out what you think you might want to do. So I'm thinking that I'm going to be doing a mug for Janine. And so I'm going to maybe say Janine's, Janines, happy place, because she likes to be camping. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this freehand design that we did earlier this week. You draw the line for the dirt, you draw another line and a little circle and another line, and then we're going to do a loop up here like that, and that's going to be the camper. And then we're going to have a little wheel down here, which is going to be our hitch. And then we're going to have we're basically drawing the design that is on this rock. And so I can leave this here as my inspiration. Then we're going to draw a little door, and the door is going to have a window, and it's going to have a little knob for a handle, and it's going to have another little window off the side. That's going to be the window that you would have like in the living area. And that's it. It's just a super, super basic design. So here's what I just drew. Janine's happy place, and it's just a little camper. So now I am going to take one of the mugs, and I'm going to start the design on the mug. Now, I did bring home these are all from the dollar store, by the way. Super cheap. The cheaper, the better as far as the mug is concerned, because of the way that they do the ceramic and the glazing and stuff. It's super cheap. And so the marker actually sticks better to these things than it does if you buy a more expensive mug. So I got round mugs. Now, it's harder when you're doing a design on a round piece of whatever it is, a mug or any other kind of surface. So, you know, there are those mugs that are more like square in nature, and those are easier to actually draw on, especially when you're doing text. But I personally don't like those as much, because I think they just, you know, the ergonomic feel of something, that matters to me. And so when I put my hand around a mug, I want to be able to kind of like hold it and just kind of, you know, I don't know, hold it in a way that feels like round. I also like the idea of drinking out of a circular mug versus one that is squared off. So the other thing I wanted to mention is that these are permanent markers. I'm using Sharpie markers, and they're all permanent. I don't have oil-based markers today, but that's actually the best thing to use because they last a lot longer. These work too, they just don't last as long. The design doesn't last as long. But it lasts a long time as long as you hand wash. If you don't hand wash, then you're in trouble. Then it will wash off in the dishwasher. I have pre-washed all of these, and I'm going to go ahead and start the alcohol process on that. If you are going, there's no way that I really want to do that, then here's what I'm going to say. Go ahead and take a clear coffee mug with glass, and put something behind it that you actually want to trace. The more complicated the design is, the harder it's going to be to make it really cute. Here's a let's go explore, and it's a tent. It's a tent that is in the mountains. That's cute. And you can see that it's just kind of like a line drawing with a little bit of color inside. Look for a design that's really simple. We could do something like this. So if you take the design and you put it inside the mug, and then you look at it here, you have a really good idea of how you're going to have to trace that and see if it kind of fits and it's what you want, and then is there room for text, that kind of thing. The other thing that I have here is this wrapping paper that I like so much, and I am going to cut out one of these little trailers, because it's just don't break the mug before you start to paint it. It's not paint, color it with a marker. I'm gonna trim around this, and this is just gonna be basically my template inside the glass container. The other thing that you want to think about is that if you've got somebody who is right or left-handed, where the design is going to be. So if I'm a right-handed everything, so you have to decide if you want the design, you can do design all the way around for sure, but usually you do like a main design and then kind of like a front and a back. So this is typically the front, so I'm not going to see that when I'm drinking, but I'll see whatever is written on the back side. And I also wanted to mention that supposedly these are, safe because they're baked on once you put a marker on there, but I wouldn't trust that at all. So I don't want to put any kind of design or marker around the rim of the glass where someone's lips are actually going to touch it. This is like, it's not food safe material. So any design needs to be in an area where you're not going to ingest anything. Now you can see here, the thing that I was talking about with it's a little bit more difficult to do a design on a curved surface. So you can see just when I cut out this little thing from the wrapping paper, and when I push it in here, it's a little bit big for this mug. But I'm going to push it in, and then I want to kind of make it as even as possible. But as I'm pushing it in, I don't know if you can see this, but it's creating creases in here. That's part of that like not flat surface. And so you kind of have to figure out how you're going to smooth that out. And if we weren't at this, the word adventures is at the bottom of the mug where it gets smaller, so it's even more scrunched than it would be if we had cut that word off. So for right now, I'm going to go ahead and trim around this trailer a little bit more. I'm going to get rid of the word adventures and see if we can get this thing in there where it's sitting kind of nice and flat, or at least a little flatter, and that's a whole lot better. So now I can straighten it out as much as possible, make sure it's where I want it in relation to the handle and the front of the mug. And there it goes right there. That looks good. Then I'm going to go to this other side. Do the same thing. I'm going to smooth it. I'm going to push it out and smooth it as much on the inside of the mug as possible. And do another piece of tape. And I'm going to kind of just tape it so it's as flat as possible, so that when I take a marker and I go over those lines, it's all in place and it's not bubbled on the inside of the glass. That way I'll get a nice straight design as I follow the pattern on the outside of the mug. All right, so that's that. So if I finish this, Then once I do, I will pull this off in order to put it in the oven to bake on that design. The other thing I forgot to mention earlier is all of these usually have some kind of a sticker, a price sticker on the bottom of the mug. And so I took the stickers off, but you can see I still have a little bit of stuff on here. So I want to make sure that there's nothing that has the potential to be flammable once I put it in the oven. So I am going to clean the bottoms of these mugs as well. One last thing that I wanted to mention is I have 3 different sizes of, actually probably more like 4, of markers. And I've got a really thin tipped marker, which is great when you are trying to do any kind of text or an outline. I like to start with a really thin one for the outline, so I've got a little wiggle room to make mistakes. Then I've got a little bit thicker one that you can see here, and these are great for coloring things in. And then I have a really thick one that is, I got a couple of these black ones, which are now nice for making a big outline. And then another couple of really thick ones for, you know, when you're covering a bigger surface. And I have these all kind of set in order of thickness of the marker. Let's go ahead and start. So I am going to do the Janine's Happy Place on one of these mugs because I like these the best. And I'm gonna leave my design right over here so it's kind of like, it's easy for me to see and reference as I am trying to make the design happen. I wanna do this design on this side, put a little alcohol on the cotton ball and just kind of clean off that mug. And I'm just gonna go all the way around the mug. And if I hold the handle, I know that right now I am not going to be doing anything with the handle. I'm not doing a design on the handle, at least not yet. So I am clear to start to do my design. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and rub off any remaining sticker that was on there from the price sticker on the bottom. All right, so the trickiest part is that when it comes time to start to do the design, I can't touch that mug anymore. So I know that I want the design on this side, and I need to let that dry. Once the alcohol is dry, and that dries pretty quickly, then I can start to do the design. So I can feel it right here, that alcohol is on a spot that I'm not gonna be painting. The alcohol is already dry. So I am going to start with my thin black marker and let's see. And I want the design over here so I can lay this down here and you're gonna see what I'm talking about with the, Izzy's here to help me. You're going to see what I'm talking about with making the design on a curved surface. So what I'm going to do here now first is I've got Janine's Happy Place on top of the camper. I think I'm actually going to want to put that text at the bottom of the camper, kind of like underneath here. I am going to start the line here is the, and you're such a good helper. Are you helping doing Janine's mug? So the first thing I did was just draw that straight line, and it's not super straight. You can see, and the things, when things are homemade and DIY and they're not perfect, that's how you know for sure it's DIY and homemade. But if you want to straighten it out a little bit, that's what I was talking about with using this little tiny tipped marker to start, because I can see that I'm a little higher on this side than this side. So when I want to straighten this out, I'm going to go down here and know that I need to bring this thing up here to kind of even that out a little bit more. So I will do that when I get to that thicker marker. Now I want to draw my line for the bottom of the trailer. And I'm going to draw that little tire. The Q-tips are here for removing mistakes. So if I say, oh my gosh, look at what I did with that tire, I can either, if it's big enough, I can just erase it with this. You can see how this little alcohol bit here will erase that. In fact, I can say I'm not happy with any of it and I'm going to start over, which is fine, but you can't get too far in the design before you do that. If I was a little farther in the design, then I would be using a Q-tip to just take off the little bits that I wasn't happy with. So I would want you to see how easy it is to take off any mistakes. So I'm going to go ahead and start this again after I know that that's dry. Level your hand on something where you can kind of draw a little bit more steady. So it kind of is almost filling that whole front half of the cup. Now I'm going to continue with the design. It's not real steady, but it's certainly close enough because when I go in there with that bigger, thicker marker, I'm going to be able to smooth that out a little bit. I'm going to continue with doing the window and the door. Part of the problem when you hand draw, I didn't leave enough room as I was freehanding that to do these little flags up on top. So if I wanted to do flags, they would be coming down here and kind of interrupting the window and door. So the option is erase the thing on top, the top of the trailer, and then make it a little bit taller so I can fit those flags in there. If I wanted to redraw the top of the camper, I am going to I'm going to go ahead and erase up here. So you can see this was sitting here for a while. So we're going to see how much of this marker could come off. And it shows you why it's so important to use permanent marker and to bake on the design so it doesn't come off. So this is the really cool thing about this. It's very forgiving. And I don't know about you, but I need forgiveness. So especially when I'm drawing something freehand, since I'm not an artist, and so I make mistakes. And so I want to be able to clean them up and not have to throw the whole thing away or, start completely over. All right, there we go. So now if I just go ahead and let that dry, and then I'll do the arch a little bit higher so that I can add those flags. Go back to my skinniest marker so that I can get that, that arch of the roof a little bit higher. And so I can put flags in there. That's better. See, now I've got room for the little flags. I can start to thicken the lines around the design. And then I can start to color in with some cute colors. Stuff relaxes me. How about you? I don't know why. I was never a crafter in my life. And actually the thing that really relaxed me was when we really started camping. Did that kind of thing as a kid, but then stopped as an adult. When I started camping again, it was just, what a way to relax. So I enjoyed doing this too. Izzy, you're such a good helper. Ooh, you can see how I made the, after I made that line thicker, I have the doorknob too far over. That's why I like to leave that stuff for later, which I didn't follow my own advice and I put it in there too soon. So I need to just pull that off. Baby girl, are you helping Mama today? All right, there we go. Make sure you have enough Q-tips. Q-tips are your friend. All right, so I think that design is actually looking pretty good. You just want to give it enough time, and then you want to go ahead and start your colors. The one thing you might want to know is after you bake, the colors do not stay the same all the time. And it seems like pink will sometimes turn a little orange. So there's a reaction that happens when these things bake in the oven. So don't get your heart set on the colors. It's kind of seems like the greens and purples and blues seem to hold their color a little bit better than the lighter colors. So I am going to do the thing that we did here where we got a top and a bottom color. And so I will do I can actually leave that top in kind of that, just this kind of off-white color, and just do a line across the center and make a color at the bottom. So I'll do that on this one. So I'm gonna go make my line kind of all the way across here. And for this one, you can see that I did the door in orange and the stripe in pink. So I'll just kind of mimic that same color scheme here. And I just want to go all the way across. And then I want to go do the outline so I can match up this pinkish purple color with the black outline. And then once I'm finished with that, then I'm going to just go ahead and color in. Purple was always my favorite color when I was a kid. I loved purple. And then I got older and I decided I wanted something a little lighter, and I decided pink was my color. But I don't know, it's kind of like any combination that looks, I like brighter colors personally. All right, so we're starting to fill in that color. You can see it's really starting to take shape now. Go around the tire, and I did make that whole tire black and round. I didn't leave a little hubcap in there, which I normally like to do, but I don't know, I got carried away with that heavy marker. I know, baby girl. Why did I do that? Oh, how cute is this? Are you thinking this is cute too? Or is it just me? Izzy thinks it's cute, huh, Iz? She's such a good helper. She loves helping me do laundry. She loves sitting in, look at her. She loves sitting in the laundry basket with hot towels. So do you think it's gross that I let the cat sit in hot towels after they're clean? I don't know. That's just me. It's what we do here. I want to put a couple of flags in here. So you just do a little triangle. So now I want to go ahead and draw just the tiniest little line through here to kind of be like the string that's holding the flags up. Super cute? I think so. I cleaned this off down here, and this one's going to be Janine's happy place, and that's a whole lot of words, pretty long. All right, Janine's happy place, smiley. So now the text kind of runs the whole design. So now if I want to do something on the back side, I can do that too, but I want to let this first dry before I start messing with anything on the back side. And of course, because I've been touching all that stuff, I need to clean up the back side, do a cute little design that's kind of color coded on the handle. We'll start by just doing a little dot, and it's just a little touch that makes it feel, again, a little bit more, what shall I say, personalized and, you know, unique. I want somebody to give me a mug like this. We'll see what these colors turn out like after we bake them. Cute? I think that's cute. There's the dots and there's the lines. Cutesy. I finally finished doing all the marker designs on all of my cups. Now I'm going to put them into my cold oven. Definitely don't preheat your oven. The easiest way to put them in the oven is upside down, and make sure that they're kind of steady in the way that they're sitting on the rack. And my one little wine glass. All right, close her up, and I am going to bake at 450, and I'm going to turn it on. So now it's preheating, and slowly that oven is going to come up to temperature, and slowly those mugs are going to heat up so they're not going to crack. My oven has now reached a 450 degree temperature, so I am going to start the timer on my clock for 30 minutes. So we're going to bake for 30 minutes. After the oven temperature reaches the 450 degrees, my timer just went off. These things have been baking at 450 for 30 minutes. So now I'm just going to turn the oven off and make sure that I leave the door closed as the oven is cooling. I'm going to leave the door closed for 15 minutes. My timer just went off. The oven is still cooling. My 15-minute timer went off though. So I'm going to go ahead and just barely crack the door to the oven so the heat can escape nice and slowly. Well, the time has finally come and we are ready to pull the mugs out of the oven. They're nice and cool. We'll see what they look like. Hopefully the color of the mugs is something that we're happy with, but you just never know until they actually come out of the oven. Izzy is clearly ready to see what they look like and give her paws up or paws down to whatever we got going on here. So let's take a look at what we have. I know, are you ready to help me? Good girl. All right, everything is nice and cool and we are ready to pull them out. Oh my goodness, they look adorable. Okay, you can see why I was up so late last night. I was finishing way too many mugs, and I think that they all turned out pretty cute. I have to say, I am not thrilled with some of the colored markers that didn't last as, they didn't hold their color nearly as well as I had hoped. This campfire one started out with a red color and it kind of turned into mostly kind of like yellowish brown. So I guess for the color of a campfire, it actually looks okay. I definitely like these bigger mugs. I think that they are, they're cute because you have so much room to kind of like create a lot of different design. I hope that Rhonda likes her little mug, Rhonda's Respite. That's what happens when she gets to go in her motorhome. And put some little designs all the way around that one, and then as well on the handle. I had to do one for my dad. He is not really a camper, but he surely is a grill master. So, so this is his, and I reminded everybody that they had the camping theme on the front side, and I reminded everybody on the back side that they are blessed and that Jesus is the reason for the season, for the holiday. If you like any of these designs, I hope that you get some inspiration from them. Janine and her happy place. This one I really had higher hopes for. Pete's name is really faded on the bottom, so I'm gonna have to go over this one. You can definitely do that to go over it with another marker if it didn't last that long, but you have to rebake it. I like the way that the handle turned out, but his name, the color of marker that I chose for putting his name on, they're really faded, so I'm gonna have to redo that. I used my stencils to create the word Glamper here, which makes it really nice and neat and more professional looking. And this was one that I tried to do a negative design. I think it turned out okay. I'm not like totally loving it, so I'm gonna have to practice with that one a little bit more. I didn't like the ones that I did on the glass. I think that the glass is too clear. Yes, you can see the design, but it's just way too clear, and without having some solid background, it's really hard to see those. I'm hoping that everybody really loves my gifts that I'm giving them this year. I think they're really cute. I hope that they like them as much as I do. No matter what, I had a really fun time doing it and kind of personalizing everything for all of my friends and family. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. I would love to help you out. I also have printable instructions. I'll leave a link to those in the description below, as well as my entire VLOGMAS 2024 playlist. This whole series is in one place, easy to find, so I'll leave a link in the description for that. And I am looking forward to seeing you again with another cool idea tomorrow. See you later.